Okay, hello and welcome. I was told that I should do a little tutorial thing, so I decided that is what I'm going to do. Unfortunately, I don't have a webcam and I mostly do line art with pencil and paper, so all I can really do is coloring tutorials. So, this is going to be my first video and it's going to be about me coloring all the base colors. So, the way that I color things is very peculiar, I believe. And I think also really kind of cheating. So, the first thing I do is I make a layer underneath the layer for the line art. Then, I select outside everything, and then I invert the selection, and then I just fill that all in. Now, some of you may be wondering where exactly I'm going with this. I will show you in the future. Right now, I have to remove any unnecessary spots here. Like that. And now, what I'm going to do is make a folder for all the different layers for the colors, because I make each set of colors a different layer for different parts. So, that one's going to be like the skin layer. And then I set it so that it clips at the layer below. So now nothing can go outside of these lines. So I can color as crazy as I want and it won't end up outside the lines, which is great. So like for instance, if I do that, woo, don't gotta worry about it. So, first thing I do is I color the base color for the skin, and I color all the parts where the skin goes. So let's just do that real quick. And that's pretty much coloring. The first color is really easy, everything else is rather hard because you have to try to not block out anything else. And then I'm gonna move on to the hair. I already have colors set for everything, so I don't have to worry about it. I use a lot of very bland colors. So, you just fill in all your flat colors, and it's really nice that you don't have to worry about coloring outside the lines. After a certain point, you have to get kind of more precise so that you don't goof it all up. Oops, like that. Also, I apologize if I do some things multiple times in a row because I get a little bit OCD sometimes. I'm not actually OCD though. I just like to be perfect, because it's better to be perfect than not be perfect. Coloring itself might take a little while, but it can be relaxing. Kind of like how people say coloring books are really relaxing to color in. Well, I do the same thing with digital art. Like when people give me line art, I absolutely love it. It's so much fun to color. Oh, there we go. I do hate it when everything lags on me, because that makes it really hard to figure out where my mouse is going to be. Potential hazards everywhere. That seems a little weird. Ugh. And unfortunate part of being a perfectionist is sometimes you can't get something the way you want it to look. And you have to live with it. And darn it. Don't be afraid to erase anything if you mess up. In fact, if you do mess up, please do erase it, because you really don't want to leave it there and then have it look terrible. Hold on. Where there's no lines, I'm just gonna do that because it bugs the snot out of me. Still not much better, but you know. It's hard when you're doing a normal sized character instead of just a random little chibi like this, because this is far easier in comparison because it's far simpler than everything else. By the way, if I have a character with animal ears or a tail, I consider that to be in the same layer as the hair. It's just a personal thing I do. Things like wings, on the other hand, I normally put on a layer all by itself because of the complicated details I normally put into it. Alrighty. Now, time to go about coloring the clothes. No, there's a line there. Oh no. You know what? That doesn't belong. Whoops. I will be honest though, if you cannot remember what colors to make a character and you have reference for that character, sometimes you just have to pull it up. Like I could not remember to save my life what her colors were for some reason. It just... brain death. And oh, and I forgot again. Okay. I see. Why do I not have that dark color there? When you do have certain parts all together on the same layer, you can't just erase it when you mess up. So I am extra careful at times like those. Don't want to destroy what I have. Now, the reason I have so many cooler colors is because I tend to like cooler colors, especially blues. If I'm being perfectly honest, blue is actually one of my favorite colors. That's why I use it so frequently. But you don't necessarily have to use your favorite color all the time. Sometimes I do play around with colors and get really interesting color choices that surprise me, but they still turn out well. So don't feel afraid to experiment. I actually have a character that has, green hair. Not like dark green, like green, like bright green. It doesn't look too shabby. Sorry for the long gaps of silence. I'm not very good at making small talk. Especially in these kinds of circumstances. Like, who am I talking to? What kind of things do they like? I don't know, because this is going to be my first video on YouTube where I'm actually speaking to people. Most of it is whisper talking. I probably sound like Bob Ross or something. 'Cause you know what this is missing? It's missing some happy little trees. I don't know, maybe as a joke I'll put some in the background. Probably not. Oh no, lines. I hate when I mess up the lines. Get out of there. Look at these floppy little sleeves. Now, I absolutely love floppy little sleeves, which is why I slapped them on my persona here. Because I love these sleeves so much. I mean, look at it. Look how fun it must be to just flop those sleeves around. I used to have a jacket with long floppy sleeves in high school. It was great. Although the nickname I got because of that I was not really fond of. I preferred the other nickname that didn't involve the sleeves way more. I hope there isn't too much feedback on the mic, because I'm not really the type that has an opportunity to go through and check these things. There's also lots of gaps because I don't know how to edit videos. So everything you see is raw, almost like it's live. But it isn't live. Okay. Red. One of my other favorite colors to use is using red like this amongst all the darker blue colors. Kind of pops a little more because it's the only warm color. Soon it won't be because I'm also going to be using a kind of pinker color, but this is still rather nice. I really like dark red too, almost as much as I like blue. Ooh. Now, most of my art doesn't look that great until it's completely finished, because something about it, the roughness of it, just doesn't set quite right with me, and I always think it looks really bad till it's done. So this, right now, it's okay so far, but it wouldn't certainly win any awards. It is just a chibi after all. Alright. Now what is that? I have to wonder what these weird mystery colors are for and why they're in my little color palette here. Because if I examine these, I haven't the foggiest idea. Maybe one of them has to do with the eyes. Yeah, that's gotta be it. It's gotta have something to do with the eyes. Weird. Okay. Now let's make a separate layer, like I said, for the wings. All these layers are kind of going to help me later on when I'm shading things, because I don't like to work on one layer. It makes it harder for me to shade, because the way I shade is rather peculiar. So having the extra space in between the different parts helps me. Oh dear, that doesn't belong. There we go. Go. Wonder if there's any of that on this side. Not as much now. Okay. Ah! No, what am I doing? Never worry when you mess up, at least digitally, because, you know, that's what the undo button is for. The undo button is a device that I greatly appreciate. Without it, I think I would kind of fail. Because then I'd have to manually go in and fix everything. And that's just not cool. Oh no, like that. Gosh. Every now and then, I imagine how passionately bored everyone listening to this video must be, because I don't talk much. It is a shame, is it not? we go. As soon as we finish the wings, we can move on to the eyes. Nothing too elaborate this time around because it is only flats after all. I have to break all the videos up because of my inability to edit things. But the next video, the video on shading, should be quite interesting considering my weird way of shading things. It'll definitely be something to watch. Right. Just because this part needs to be this, I'm not going to bother about which layer I put it on. I'm just going to put it on a layer. Now, a separate layer for the eyes. You know what? That's gonna bug me if I don't do anything about it. That part, this part, that's optional. Okay, so here are my flat colors of my little character, which, as you can see based off of this, the colors come out quite differently after shading, so I often have to pick lighter colors than what I'm actually ending up with. I hope you enjoyed this first video, and this is where it's gonna end. Peace out.